What's happening, friends? Welcome to Unlocked. It's the world's #1 Xbox show. It's episode 297, creeping up on the big 300. Lots to do on this week's show. Coming up, we're going to do a little more recap of the big Destiny 2 event, which Destin, you and I were both in attendance for last week. It was also the E3 Judges Week, so I'll share with you what I can from that. Red Dead Redemption 2 getting a not super surprising delay. We'll discuss the implications of that for both Rockstar and everyone else. BioWare confirms they're working on a new Dragon Age game. Far Cry 5 gets officially teased. We'll tell you what we can there, as well as South Park finally getting a hopefully real release date this time.
Oh, yeah.
So, with that, I'm Ryan McCaffrey, Destin Legary.
Hey, everybody.
A lot of Pierce, Marty Sleva. If you do not already subscribe to this show in some form, please do so. You can, podcast services, subscribe there if you like the audio version. If you're on video, give our YouTube channel a subscribe, which is youtube.com/IGN Unlocked. Or on the IGN homepage, just click on shows and you can find the Unlocked page in the drop down there. All right, housekeeping out of the way. Judges Week, Destin.
Yeah.
You got to tag along for the last day of it.
For the biggest day.
We were next door to Elon Musk. That's SpaceX and Tesla.
Did you stop by Tesla before you
I picked up, I was like, hey, can I have my car now? And they said no.
So what exactly is Judges Week for anyone who doesn't already know?
It is a way for publishers to voluntarily, it's a case-by-case basis, they can elect to come down and show a panel of the E3 judges, which is basically all the oldest, crustiest bastards in the
favorite rapper, old crusty bastard.
It's to come down and show the group of us what they've got for E3 award consideration ahead of the absolute chaos and hectic madness of the show itself. So the idea, it's a more relaxed, better showcase for those publishers. So every year the publishers change. So it's every year it's different.
Sometimes the embargo for that is E3. Other times it's before E3. Like you already have some previews up front.
Yeah, we got to play Shadow of War and Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 at the WB one. So we got previews of both of those up. Those embargoes lifted.
Is Shadow of War?
Brandon played it because he's our big super fan for that, and he really liked it. I mean, I was watching him play the whole time, and to me, that game seems like, and I mean this in the super complimentary way, it seems like Assassin's Creed, but better. Like just doing.
I feel like that's kind of what they were always going for, at least a
It's
little.
still got that Batman combat, so I'm sold.
Which I love, yeah. And I was thinking about it just the other day, like,
arrows.
you know, we've got so many good games out this year already. Game of the Year is already going to be really hot. And it was like, that could be like a sleeper hit. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if
just like
Shadow
the
of
first
War.
one.
Yeah,
It
Shadow
looks
of War
great.
becomes a contender for that.
Yeah. What else can I tell you about? I mean, well, we're going to talk about Far Cry 5 in a little bit. We got a presentation on that. But yeah, I guess I wanted to circle back around to Destiny 2. Destin, are you sick of talking about Destiny 2 yet?
Nope. Sorry, everybody.
Good. That's the right answer. So yeah, you did a whole post-show, pre-show reactions for Fireteam Chat, but just for the Unlocked crew. What are you
Complaining about being
school
it's
kids
so
do?
it's
cold
very
in here
cold.
today.
It really
There
is.
is.
Why don't you have a jacket?
Oh
I
boy,
don't know, I'm freezing.
really cold.
Canada.
I was just thinking, I'm like, man, I am very cold. I'm just going to...
I'm warmed
it's
by
worth
the
it.
embers of my crucible.
But you know, apparently it was really hot at the Destiny 2 event.
Yeah.
was.
Transport yourself back there.
That was fine, actually.
That was the price that we paid for being able to be in the audience. It was boiling. In fact,
I've been at hotter events.
Destiny 2 wasn't the hottest event of the year.
E3 2014 orgy? Is that what we're talking about?
This year, yep.
Space ponchos, necked, and
Who knows what happened under those?
Yeah. I don't remember anything.
I had an interview with Mark Noseworthy. He works at Bungie in the back, in like the back interview area. That was hot.
Yeah.
No airflow, nothing.
Yeah.
It was. I do not envy those guys having to do a bunch of interviews back there.
It's always interesting to me, and I think this is a minor point worth discussing. It's because I've done these events, many of them in person at the venue, and I've done many of them remotely where I'm just watching on a feed just like everybody else. And man, sometimes the difference between the vibe and the reaction in the room is totally different than what you see online. I remember
we went to the PS4 Pro event. Yeah, and we were all like, "What was it like there?"
And I'm in the room and I'm thinking, this is fine. You know, so I'm seeing these. I can see some HDR here on these giant TVs that they've rolled in, and then I go on social media, I go on Twitter, and people are like, "That event was terrible. It was
so
awful."
bored because it was a stream that wasn't in HDR or 4K. So
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh."
And I feel like the Destiny 2 event was a bit of a lesser version of that. Like I thought they put on a great presentation.
Yeah, me too.
The energy in the room was so great. Of course, they had it packed with Destiny super fans.
Yeah.
But still, it's like, there was a fun energy in the room. Everything, the huge screens, everything was super loud. It was, high octane.
Yeah.
And then I go again, same thing. I go on social media, and a lot of people were excited, but a lot of the reaction was just like, seems like more of an expansion pack than a sequel. And I was like, really?
So here's the reason people are saying that. It's because visually, when you're displaying it online through gameplay clips or whatever, it looks like a lot of the same. The strike is still, you spawn into a strike, you run to the end, you kill a boss. So people that know Destiny 1 are just kind of like, it looks pretty similar to everything that we've seen. That was kind of concerning for me at the event because I'm like, okay, for me, this is a lot of cool new little things, a lot of improvements, quality of life, but like, are new players even going to know who Zavala is or Care or Ikora Ray or Cade? Like, they don't have any relationship with these characters at all. They're just kind of coming into this new world that I know.
I'm a Destiny 1 player, but I don't know any of them because they were all added later.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just kind of, well, they weren't added later. They've been there since the beginning, but they're just kind of there around a table
expanded.
standing there.
Yeah.
So
What is Nathan Fillion?
he's Cade 6. He's the most popular one.
But so I knew he was in Destiny 1, and I tried to speak to him as many times as I could, but he's also in the trailers for Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Is he the same character?
Yeah.
Oh, he looks slightly different. So I was like, why would they use the same voice for a
Got a haircut.
Yeah.
It's like different colors.
So he's standing around the table where all the vanguards are standing, that depending on what class, you go to a different one, right? And if you're a hunter, you go to him, and all that he would do in vanilla Destiny is just kind of talk a little bit. Yeah. So anybody who didn't play Taken King, they don't really have that established relationship with his sort of wit and such. So I'm just like, for the people that Bungie is trying to get into the game, like you, Marty, you, Alana, Ryan, even you to a lesser extent, because you are a lapsed player.
Right.
I don't know. You guys didn't really play much.
I played a ton of vanilla Destiny.
You did?
A little bit of the original.
Okay, yeah. So I doubt that you guys have a
I
relationship.
have no attachment to any of the characters in it.
Exactly. So it's like, well, why do I care about all this stuff happening? Are you intrigued at all?
I want to care. No, that's the thing that because I didn't jump on Taken King and I did play Destiny 1. That's the thing I wanted in that game, was like, I really enjoy playing this. I'm putting a lot of time into it. It's a fun social experience, but I don't care about anything in this world. So that's what I want. It's like, this is filling the void that I felt the first game had.
So you care that the tower's blowing up and you have to defend it.
I want that to be an emotional experience.
Yeah,
So, yes.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I care about, like, I always thought the Traveler was cool, and I wanted to know more about the Traveler, which
Okay.
I'd never really got in the first vanilla game.
See, for me, like, I am ecstatic. I'm like, yes, they're making a bunch of quality of life improvements, but I'm really curious how it's going to translate to everybody else who doesn't play, or is like, same game. And people think it looks too similar visually to people who aren't in the weeds about all the little details. I think I'm seeing a lot of comments about just like, it's the same thing.
It's not.
It's
I mean,
not.
I played it.
I know
played
that.
it.
I know that it is not. But to the average
people
person,
just say that
it
about
looks
every
similar.
game that comes out, though. Call
also-
of Duty gets that every year.
Yeah, I mean, a sequel ultimately builds upon the foundations of an original, so of course it's going to seem familiar. It's not like this game is already like a real-time strategy game. That would not make sense for Destiny 2.
Yeah. I want a bunch of people to play Destiny and like it as much as I do, but if Bungie can't succeed in showing how it's different, how the sequel is different, and how they're answering the concerns of these people who are coming up with these comments, then we're not going to get a huge influx of new audience. We will on PC, though.
And that's where that's the reaction that I totally got in I totally got it in the room, that I'm not, because they really doubled down during the presentation. The whole beginning of it was we're doubling down on, we want solo players to have fun. Like, yes, that's right. And
that's
then solo players, and we want to tell a better story with a better narrative.
That's stuff that got me the most.
Yeah. So, and we got to play the homecoming mission. So it really, to me, was a good first step forward of making good on that stuff that I want.
To annoy the crap out of you, what prevents that from being an expansion? Like, why couldn't they have had that be an expansion to Destiny 1?
Well, I can answer that. I mean, they've done a lot of behind the scenes tech stuff, allowing them to have like a lot more physics and just lighting effects. They have updated the engine.
They dropped the old gen version, so presumably this is running off of a advanced enough code base that it warrants a new, totally new product. Rather
just
than
like in theory, you could have an expansion that acts as story. So
I mean, you're right. I mean, it being an always connected game, it does blur the line between an MMO that would just continue to evolve. I mean, look at World of Warcraft now compared to World of Warcraft 14 years ago or however long it launched.
They've also totally revamped a bunch of the systems that were in Destiny 1 that you couldn't just do as an expansion.
I mean, that same argument could be made. Why isn't Halo 5 Halo 4 DLC, or why wasn't Gears 2 Gears 1 DLC?
I think that's a little different for a single player game. Like, I agree that I want Destiny 2 and I want a new game, but the thing is, like, in theory, if it's a story that they're focusing on, they could have added that as DLC.
And these are the questions the community is asking, and I think Bungie needs to figure out how to answer those questions for them, because if they don't, you're not going to bring in that new audience.
Even that, I don't know. Like, I think that they need to be
on board, it seems like.
super clear. But I mean, yes, I'm going to play it regardless. But it's also the same people who complain about this kind of thing and say like, oh, it's the same thing in a much more angry way than I'm saying it. Are likely going to buy it anyway.
Yeah.
Like realistically, the same thing happens with Call of Duty every year. So
I'm trying to leave between the lines with a bunch of the negativity and just see, okay, so like where did they fail marketing wise with this event, and what questions do people still have, and what do they want to see to get them interested in Destiny 2, or at least on board with trying the new sequel. Now we haven't even talked about some of the limitations on the PlayStation 4 Pro that were.
That's the other thing I wanted to cover, because this became a big thing after, which was partially. Well, it became a big thing on my timeline, which I had no intention of it doing. Because, you guys had the interview with, was it Mark or Luke?
Fran and myself interviewed both Mark and Luke on set, and we asked them about PlayStation 4 Pro ever running at 60, and the answer is
60
no.
frames per second.
It's locked at 30. PC is on cap.
But they are doing 4K or a higher resolution than 1080p.
It runs 4K locked at 30 on consoles on PlayStation 4 Pro. They didn't answer Scorpio. It is a CPU bottleneck issue, they're saying. And Digital Foundry just did this great study about why you should not expect 60 on Scorpio for the same reason. Yes, Scorpio is definitely more powerful, but I don't think we should expect to see 4K 60 on Xbox, not only for the hardware limitations, but also because of the relationship with Sony.
Yeah, that
would be really bad for.
That was the point that I brought up. Was the political side, not the technical side, which ended up nuking my timeline. Which I just finally said, forget it. I'm just going to delete these tweets because I don't want anybody replying to me anymore. Because it's like it's okay. So it's a moot point for Destiny 2 because of the CPU bottleneck, but it is an interesting thing to wonder about future games, because Sony has they have the marketing push, the marketing rights exclusively for some of the, certainly this fall's big third-party titles, and no doubt they will for some others going forward. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a Sony first kind of game on the marketing side. And Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, and Call of Duty and Far Cry.
Far Cry 5, yes, thank you. And so, you wonder if the Scorpio is a good step up on paper, more powerful than the PS4 Pro. Yeah. Will there be a situation where there's an action game of some sort? I don't think Red Dead will ever be running at 60 on anything because of how far Rockstar always pushes the envelope, but don't quote me on that. I'm not an engineer at Rockstar, but for any, whatever game, whether it's Far Cry or Battlefront 2 or some other future game, will we run into a situation where Sony has the marketing on a big third-party game and Scorpio can run it at 60, where the PS4 Pro maybe can't quite do it, and it will be held back for sort of basically a marketing parody, so that it doesn't. You guys get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not explaining myself well.
Shout out to Mikey Barra for the most epic subtweet I've ever seen in recent memory. He tweeted out, developers are free to choose how they use the power of Project Scorpio for games. We have no requirements limiting frame rate or fidelity. He's kind of covering Microsoft there, because as soon as Bungie comes out, if they say that Scorpio runs at 30, they're kind of covered. They're like, well, that's what the developer wants it to run at. Now,
Microsoft's just saying developers can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
We're not going to hold them back. But again, my argument was, would Sony or would those marketing deals potentially
That's
hold back?
totally possible, but at the same time, like with the Digital Foundry thing, maybe it's possible that Scorpio won't even have that capability.
well, here's the thing that really bothers me. There's no excuse for not being able to run at 1080 60. It can totally do that. Based on the conversations I've had with Bungie, they're saying that it's because of the CPU bottleneck and being able to run at 4K 60. Just give people options. Let them play at 1080 60 or 4K 30.
We've seen some PS4 Pro games do that. Rise of the Tomb Raider does that, gives you a lot of different options. I believe the Last of Us
The Last of Us remastered.
The remaster.
Yeah.
That's the word I was looking
Neo
for.
recently did
Does that. Yeah. So hopefully we'll see those options with games.
Definitely. The whole political side thing that you're bringing up, Ryan, that really sucks for the consumer.
Absolutely.
People are just like, I want to play at 60.
I think any exclusivity deal sucks for the consumer, honestly.
does.
Like, DLC being tied to one platform sucks for everyone. Even sucks for the dev because less people get to play it. It sucks, but obviously that's where the money is and that's where the devs get that.
I mean, it sucks for the dev, but it keeps the devs' lights on. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got. I mean, hey, you would probably take the money too.
I'd sell out very quickly if someone let me. Please let me sell out.
I mean, but the flip side,
How do you feel about resolutions?
it does suck. It does suck for the consumer, but at the same time, can you blame Sony? They're going out there, they're being aggressive.
No, not at all.
And it is working for them.
No, it's smart.
It's working. They've been doing it the whole generation. You can't. It's not like Sony just picks up the phone and says, "Hey, we'd like to arrange an exclusive marketing partnership with you so that everyone associates your game with our platform primarily." Microsoft presumably has every chance to call up and say, "Well, we'll make you a better offer for that
My
same
guess
thing,"
is
and they're
that
not doing it.
Sony is doing it like when the studio they hear that they're starting to develop something. I assume they do it very early.
Yeah, but again, there's nothing stop. I mean, I feel like,
What if Phil was just like, make it 60 on Xbox?
I think Phil said that he sort of doesn't have an interest in this, like the arms race of securing third-party timed exclusivity.
he has said that. What I was just going to say is I feel like the Tomb Raider situation scared the bejesus
It absolutely burned him. Yeah,
totally burned him. But
it also hurt that game eventually. I think.
Yeah.
Like by
Seemingly.
the time it came out for PS4, people didn't really seem to care. It was
good
after
game.
Uncharted. Yeah, it was a great game.
yeah, I mean, it's to me, it's just a shame. I mean, Sony's being aggressive with this stuff, and it's paying off. And Microsoft was that aggressive last generation, particularly in the early part of it.
Every now and then I just remember how many exclusives, and not just like exclusive DLC or whatever, how many actual exclusives the Xbox 360 had. BioShock, Mass Effect,
Dead Rising,
all around the same
Saints
time.
Row 1 or 2, 1 and 2.
But then even like XBLA stuff.
That's just
that
crazy.
Was,
Like those games are amazing. Like it's insane. Like that would have been so hard to do to get, because now I feel like, Sony is maybe going to them as like, we want exclusive something. They're like, well, we're not going to give you the whole game. You can have this DLC because the market's changed.
Also, it made sense because at that point there were so many more 360s in the wild than there were PS3s, which is the same now, just reverse. There's so many more PS4s in the wild than there are Xbox Ones.
Yeah. The developer makes more sales and it makes sense.
Bringing it back to Destiny for a second, I really enjoyed the event.
Yeah, it was fun.
Getting to play it for the first time.
I love the strike. The strike was such a blast.
The strike was really cool. It kind of has this sort of constant descent.
The inverted spire.
Yeah, it's called inverted spire. Yeah. So you're constantly descending, and like when you fight the final boss, he just like takes the ground away from you very unexpectedly, and you're like, "What do I do? What is happening?" And you just survive, hopefully the fall, and
barely
continue the fight. Yeah, it was really, really fun.
Yeah, I had a really good time with it.
Continue the fight.
I love what they've done with the campaign also. Yeah.
Can you, for the two of you who were there, like give us your like top 3 most exciting things about Destiny 2 that you learned at that event? Like, things that stand out to you?
The weird but the weird like, it's basically just matchmaking, but they put some other clever name on it for the raids. What is it called? Buddy
the
system,
clan. I can't remember what it's called, but like you just say, "Hey, I want somebody to take me." Guided Games.
Thank you,
Sean.
voice of God, Sean Finnegan.
Yeah, it's called Guided Games, and so basically, like the IGN clan, for example, they can say, "Hey, we're willing to take somebody through this strike."
Yeah.
So like if I'm
we need a
playing-
sixth.
Yeah, we need a sixth. We bring them in, and if they're cool, maybe they get to join, or they will ask to join, or
I think that's really great.
I'm really excited about that.
And I just hope, I said this in my preview, and this actually, a lot of people disagreed with me, and I can see why. I don't agree with them, but I said, because you remember a part of the presentation, Luke Smith said, only 50% of players ever touch the raid.
Yeah.
And we want that number to go up. And so then they went into the guided games thing.
Like vanilla Destiny, the way that we were finding raids was, I was on Reddit.
Yeah, well, you
Finding
had to,
Reddit threads to pair up with people.
Well,
That's why the LFG sites came up. Reddit started building them, and you would look for teams.
But I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about when I finished the story campaign in vanilla Destiny, I was level 18 or 19. And then I came in and talked to you guys and said, how long is it going to take me to get to 26 so that I'm the minimum level I need to get
And we're
to
all
the
like,
raid? Like, I don't know what you said, like 12 or more hours or something.
I'm like,
ridiculous.
go into Crucible, bro.
And I said, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So I hope that when Luke says we want to get more people into the raid, that they're not just going to have this half step of, well, there's matchmaking for it now. I hope that they
it would be
severely
nice
reduce.
Smarter
to be
scaling.
able to do the raid almost as soon as you finish. Yeah.
That's what I want. And I had a lot of people reply to me and say, bro, you got to earn it, bro. You got to earn it. You got to get in
Why
there.
are
And
surfers following you on Twitter?
I don't know.
Did you
we
earn it, bro?
live on the coast. We got the ocean right here. By the way, I wish I had the link. Maybe our editor can put up the link. We all retweeted. I'm getting off topic here for
The
a
guy
second.
who did the animation.
I don't even. I think his name was Matt. I believe. Animated our John Fort our
Miss it, Sean.
Spartan 420 conversation. It made a cartoon out of the show, and it was so good.
What did you just say, Sean?
Anyway, I'm going to keep talking while you guys try
Okay,
to find
it
it.
is a guy called Neutral Horse on YouTube.
So just go to his Twitter account, probably.
Or look up Neutral Horse on YouTube.
Okay.
That
on
works.
YouTube. Perfect.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I mean, a lot of people did reply to me saying, no, you gotta, like, that's the game. That's the way it's gotta be. You have to earn it. So
That's pretty
And I just
RPG
fundamentally disagree with that. Like, why it doesn't have to be a tireless, horrible grind in order to experience the best part of the game. You can still go grind and get better rewards than me, but let me play the cool part of the game without having to just tirelessly grind.
I understand that perspective. It was a little unclear in your preview, but I get what you're saying now. You're saying, so I got to go play this mode I don't really like for 30 hours? Like, why can't I just play through the campaign to level up my character or do something fun as opposed to just grind this one mode, this one way for 12 hours?
It's a time sink by design.
Yeah.
Like, that's not fun.
It's also repetitive.
Yeah. So that's all I'm saying.
That makes a little more sense.
That's all I'm saying is I hope that when Luke was talking about trying to get more people into the raids in Destiny 2, that it wasn't just lip service for this guided games thing, and that they'll actually reduce or eliminate that gap between finishing the campaign and getting into the raid.
So you're bringing up the whole progression thing that I've brought up many times on Fireteam Chat. Check it out, youtube.com/fireteamchat. Anyway, the way to progress needs to be multifaceted. Like, you need to be able to do Crucible if you like Crucible, or do side quests, or do campaign. There needs to be other ways to advance, as opposed to you need to run this one raid 900 times before you get level 30 gear, which is what it was in vanilla. To answer Alana's question about my 3 favorite things, I want to keep talking about
as she freezes to death.
So cool.
definitely the fact that during the campaign you're actually playing alongside those characters. That
is cool.
Like, Zavala's actually there helping you, as opposed to just like, go do that thing. All right, you did it. Good job.
Look how active and cinematic the world felt. Like, the world felt, and the missions felt really populated by like narrative elements and characters in a way that I didn't feel from playing just the core campaign of Destiny 1.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited and intrigued by the clan matchmaking that we brought up, guided games. I'm really excited to like write IGN's bio for like our standards of like being kind, being a Sherpa, and being that guide for people. Sherpa is a term.
I know what a Sherpa is in real life. They help you up a mountain. They generally have goats.
Well,
Goats in Destiny coming this year.
and then finally, definitely the
We'll help you beat the game.
Oh my God.
Noises.
The increase in time to kill in Crucible, they've dramatically adjusted how difficult it is to kill other players in the Crucible mode.
Oh, that's
in
good.
Destiny. Because it's very fast right now. It's basically one-shot snipers and everything. Snipers have been moved to the heavy slot. So I'm really intrigued by how that's going to change the game and the meta of Destiny 2.
Yeah, well, do you know if we're seeing it at E3 or is it playable at E3?
I assume it's going to be at E3.
You would think so?
Yeah. If it's not, I would be very surprised.
Well, was Destiny 1 playable at E3?
They did a behind closed doors demo like 3 years before the game even came out where they ran through the Cosmodrome.
That's crazy.
2 or 3 years. I can't remember exactly.
Wasn't it like a...
This game comes out in September. So
Yeah, I just like wonder how a game like that demos, but I guess it's something
The same way they played it.
multiplayer.
Same way they played it at the event.
You know, eventually, you know how like when we went to CES last year, there's so many things that just don't work. Like a lot of multiplayer games like that don't work unless you have like ideal.
Well, they've got a beta coming
like Sea of
up.
Thieves worked really well.
They've said that.
They've had Destiny at every E3 that I can think of in recent memory. And if it's an expansion, they just do a huge 30-player room full of
You're
multiplayer.
right. They just have a booth that's like kind of locked off. You're totally right.
Yeah. So
I'm just thinking of the time
I'm
that I
guessing
played
it'll
For
be
Honor
that.
and it
There's
was
gonna be a lot of
terrible.
sparrow races.
Plus,
You do have
the
sparrow
whole,
racists. Yeah.
the whole PC partnership with Blizzard, I think like we can
Oh,
just
yeah.
For life, yo.
So the thing with
That's
I found that
sparrows.
really surprising that they're partnering with Blizzard.
I think it's smart and
I
makes a
do
lot
too
of sense.
because it works so well.
Yeah.
It's like, well, a lot of companies when they make their own PC clients, they suck. And
I think it's a
Blizzard's
little
make
weird
sense.
that people are celebrating the lack of choice.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
Like BattleNet's never.
BattleNet's probably going to work.
Yeah.
BattleNet's
So
awesome.
I guess that's fine.
Yeah.
And Activision
reliable.
owns it. So I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes sense on so many levels.
Blizzard's used to giant influxes of people on day one jumping into either WoW or Overwatch or
yeah.
StarCraft. Yeah.
Or else really small games. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
little indie
yeah.
games that
One's about the devil. One's about WoW. Just like
Diablo?
the WoW is just about like a reaction.
Underwatch?
Yeah,
I think it's cool. It's going to be
probably.
yeah. Destiny's the first non-Blizzard game basically to use that platform, so it's
Wonder how
really
much
exciting
that
for the
costs,
future.
Probably not a lot because Activision.
Activision owns it.
It's a very good point. It's Blizzard.
Yeah.
You're absolutely. I'm saying a lot of dumb stuff today. I blame.
We're all
being
no,
tired.
no one here has slept. This is like the worst episode of the show ever because no
She was
one's
bragging about how much
no one's
sleep she got.
coherent.
Yeah, I'm not eating enough carbs.
All right, we've talked about Destiny for 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's,
I'll catch you guys next time.
Jesus Christ, that was half the episode.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, really?
You know what we did on
30 minutes.
You know what we did on Beyond? The three of us said we don't know Destiny, so go listen to Fire Team Chat. It was like a 3-second segment.
Fridays at 5, everybody.
Well, it all evens out, doesn't it?
YouTube chat.
All right. I want to talk about Red Dead Redemption 2. If you had not heard, it was delayed to spring 2018.
And that's okay.
And that is totally fine. This shouldn't surprise anybody. Rockstar has really changed. Not changed, but they have evolved as a development studio, I think. They really are very much about one game at a time now. Like Rockstar hasn't shipped a game since Grand Theft Auto 5. That was
don't need to.
fall of 2013.
You know what's
Still on
still
top
making a lot of
charts.
money? Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, but that's my point is, and they get, yes, there's one studio that leads it, Rockstar North in GTA's case, and in Red Dead's case, it's Rockstar San Diego. But then you look at the credits, and it's like all the Rockstar studios contribute in some way.
I feel like the way that Rockstar approaches games is all in for several years.
Oh, yes.
I really like that.
Yeah, and the thing is, I talked about it 3 years ago when GTA came out. What I appreciate about them is they really, it's like total John Hammond gifts, spared no expense. Like they spend so much more money invested into the development of the game than anyone else could or
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Because even the other biggest publishers just don't have the time and don't have the resources to put, you can find another open world game that's good. There are plenty of them, but find one. There's a reason that GTA 5 is, in my opinion, one of the probably 10 best games of all time.
It is a fantastic.
Because they drill down into the deepest of
Yeah.
deep layers for the smallest joke, the littlest touches.
They also have the carte blanche where no one's telling them, "Hey, you got to ship it at this date."
That's exactly right. Because and that cycle, it's tough to build into that because if a game flops, they're screwed.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay, but when is that going to happen?
Red Dead literally had flying bird people, and it just made the game better.
But that's the thing. It's like with the unparalleled success of Grand Theft Auto 5, they can totally sit back and go, fine, give Red Dead another year to make it perfect.
Unfortunately, don't remember who the quote is from, but there was a developer who said something along the lines of,
It was a Miyamoto quote.
I'm not actually talking about the Miyamoto quote. Suck it, because I know the quote you're referring to.
You're now thinking of a separate quote just to spite
I'm
me.
absolutely not thinking of the Miyamoto quote.
A delayed game can be great, but a bad game sucks it forever. Alana Pierce.
That's Miyamoto. No, it was something about how the creative decisions made for a video game shouldn't be driven by a release date. They should be driven by the best interest of the game. But so often people are like, this game is due then, we have to cut all of this, we have to do all of this.
That's reality.
Shigeru Miyamoto, 1985.
It's not Miyamoto.
So my only counterpoint to that is, why do you announce a release date?
I think it's because of expectation. So I'm making a video about this. I do opinion videos on IGN now. So I've looked into it a little bit. And they announce a release date because they're like, we think this area will take this long to make, this one will take this long to make. And they're like, oh, it took 3 months longer than we thought. So it's because they try to give the release date for what they think is reasonable. And then it turns out it's unreasonable.
I saw some people on Twitter like, why did they lie about the release? They just lied to fuel pre-orders or this. Like, no, they totally intended the game to be done at the end of 2017.
Yeah.
They truly thought that.
That being said, when that trailer came out, my immediate reaction was, "There's no way."
Remember, you've been saying that the whole time.
I was everyone's like, no.
This got delayed. I'm like, yeah, of course it did. Like,
I didn't think it would be delayed, but I'm also not surprised that it's delayed. It's like,
I'm not angry. It was fine.
I'm very happy it's spring.
GTA
I'm
4 was
stoked it's
delayed.
delayed. I'm like,
5 was delayed.
this year easier.
Also, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets delayed again.
Yeah.
Kinda.
At this point.
It's also it's spring, but it's spring next fiscal year, which means it's after April 1st.
No, they just said.
No, they said in their earnings call, they said fiscal year 20.
When was that?
A couple days ago. They said the fiscal year, which would be April 1st, 2018, up until March 31st, 2019, will have this game as well as the next installment in one of 2K's biggest franchises, which they didn't say what it was, but everyone's assuming it's BioShock or Borderlands.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Either of those make sense.
Okay. Borderlands 3, I forgot it's coming.
But Red Dead 2's delay, this makes this year so much easier. Like, I feel like there's so much good stuff coming out at the end of this year. There's so many good games this year.
It sure makes this year easier if
get more time to play Destiny.
If you're another publisher like Activision.
I have talked to
with a premier game shipping in Q4.
I've talked to multiple friends at different studios with games coming out this fall, and everyone when they saw this news was like, "Oh, thank Christ!"
Campaign. Well, the campaign. I wish I could remember his name. The campaign lead of Battlefront 2. Yeah. Tweeted out like a dancing Vader. Where it's like, well, yeah, they delayed. Woo!
It does make it easier for everyone else because like there's few things that are guaranteed to sell every year. It's a Rockstar game, it's a Call of Duty, and it's a FIFA. They're always gonna sell super well. Like if I had to choose between Battlefront 2 and a new Red Dead, it's like I want to play Battlefront 2. Mitch is working on that game. I really want to support Mitch, but Red Dead.
Wow, cold-blooded.
But seriously,
Pierce.
Red Dead, though.
For Red Dead, though, it's a Rockstar game.
Shout out to those 7 screenshots that were released, keeping the screenshot tradition alive.
Where's those helicopters? Get those helicopters.
They were really pretty.
Is the PTSD setting in for either of you guys of the screenshot thing from GTA 5?
I'm not quite there yet.
Oh, it's going to happen.
Helicopter joke.
Working here during GTA 5, they would just drip feed screenshots, and they would constantly be our biggest stories, and it'd be like, the biggest story on the site is a shot of a helicopter. I'm like, why is anyone looking at this? Who cares?
I work on a feature for 2 weeks.
And don't they just kind of
Nowhere near the helicopter.
And they dropped it whatever it was, and it's like, oh, I wrote this 1,500 word story about how this game was inspired by my dead dad. Oh no, you guys are looking at the helicopter. That's cool.
That's a pretty good story. I know Jared was really he was one of the people who spoke to Rockstar PR a whole lot. We would just like get a time when they just like drop something and then we'd like push to publish it as soon as we could, and then it would do really well, and everyone would just be like, "This came in 5 minutes ago."
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
So
more screenshots, please.
The big winners and losers from the Red Dead Redemption 2 delay. Winners, gamers, as Destin said.
Yeah. More time for Destiny.
But I'd say
Publishers.
Ubisoft, because Assassin's Creed is an open world game that's probably coming out this fall.
I think they're back on their yearly
every hint.
Yeah.
I mean, every hint suggests that. Loser, possibly also Ubisoft, depending if Far Cry 5 is a Q4 2017 game, but what if it's a Q1 2018
As they're just like, oh, by the way, Red Dead also takes place in Montana. And it's like, God damn it.
We've changed it.
Yeah.
We've brought it to modern times.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, that would be hilarious. But
that would suck for them.
Who else? I guess.
Well, it's losers for whoever's making that cowboy MMO, because that screenshot came out and everyone's like, "Oh, this is Red Dead in game."
Wild West Online.
And then they're like, "No, this is Wild West Online." And I'm like, "Oh,
Just delay it a year,
sorry, guys."
It's still so weird to think
Release
about
it now.
last year that Red Dead, they tweeted those 3 images and everyone lost their damn minds. And then the Nintendo Switch got announced.
Same day.
It was just like, we're like, okay, wow, this is a lot to happen out of nowhere.
March was crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so cross Red Dead Redemption 2 off of your 2017 list, move it over to your 2018 list.
Possibly 2019. I don't think it'll slip to 2019. I do think it'll slip to fall.
That could happen. Yeah, it's possible.
Always slip to fall.
May could be May again. Red Dead 1 was a May game.
The Overwatch
And
character?
somewhere Sam Lake is going. Sam Lake's having PTSD.
It's happening
flashbacks.
again.
Oh, we don't even have an Alan Wake game, but we're still. Oh, God.
That's when P7 comes out. Like, oh God.
Next up, BioWare working on a new Dragon Age game, as spoiled by the writer of the game, one of the writers of the game, who had noted there are huge differences between all of that and what I'm working on at BioWare, which I can now legitimately say is in the Dragon Age franchise, although it's been known for a while.
Is it?
Hold on, this gets better.
I didn't know.
This is from Eurogamer, by the way. Credit to them. Notionally, it was a secret, but because of who I was working with, everyone who cared knew. And the day I started, Mark Dara, the executive producer of the Dragon Age franchise, tweeted saying, "Welcome to the Dragon Age franchise." So I thought, well, I guess that's official now. And when IGN reached out to EA for confirmation on this new Dragon Age game, a company representative replied that, quote, "It's a pleasure having Alexis involved with BioWare. We have no new information to share regarding Dragon Age at this time."
Oh, man.
So someone spoke a little too soon.
So funny.
But what this tells us is just what we assumed. Now we know for sure. I mean, we knew that BioWare Edmonton, or BioWare Prime, if you will, 2 teams.
BioWare Prime.
The new IP that we've talked about that's supposed to be, we expect it to be teased or shown in some form.
The one showcased from a dark rooftop.
What? Huh?
When they revealed it, they're just like standing all silhouetted, and then they showed the gameplay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Well, it was like an outdoor
weird trailer, yeah.
The rumors are it's a Destiny-like thing.
That's what every game's going to be.
I know. This is what happens.
Mario's a Destiny like now?
Every game's Destiny or Overwatch now.
Sure. Or Boots on the Ground. My favorite genre.
Yeah, World War I or II. Yeah, one of the great wars.
Call of Duty had a bunch of players. You think it's a MMO?
Yeah, sure. You put enough boots on the ground, it's definitely a MMO.
You said you wouldn't say
Did a
it.
deep sigh into the mic.
I said it as, but I can say it as a quote.
All right.
Yeah. So they've got the BioWare, the Dragon Age team in Edmonton and the new IP team.
I think Dragon Age is a ways away.
Oh, well, you think so though?
Yeah, I think the new IP is before Dragon Age.
They've implied that.
Oh, really?
Yes. Well, yeah, by saying the new IP. Remember that we've done 2 stories on this. The first was we have a new IP and it'll be out by March 2018. And then there was another story more recently. Hey, the game that we haven't announced yet and we haven't even told you what it is or what the title is, it's going to be a little later now.
Inquisition was IGN's Game of the Year it came out, right?
Was.
2014.
I just couldn't get into that game.
Me too. I was
same.
same boat. Just
Oh, weird.
how did it win?
Yeah.
Well, 2014 was a crappy year. I voted for Sunset Overdrive for Game of the Year. I
I voted
just let the record show.
Was that Gone Home? No, that was 2013. No.
Don't remember.
But
I don't remember.
Yeah.
List.
Sunset Overdrive
I
should
have a
have won.
list for this. I think
Sunset
that was-
Overdrive
I
totally
think
should have won. But anyway, so
Anything BioWare, I think they're going to push. They're going to take that time for that.
well,
level of
they
polish.
do have that luxury, particularly
Yeah.
the Edmonton team. But I guess what I want to get
mine
at
was
here.
Wasteland 2. The Game of the Year that year was
Oh,
Wasteland.
your game of the
You
year.
were already
Okay.
6
Was it
topics
what,
ahead,
2?
Alana.
It's important. South Park came out that year.
So we theorized here that with not elimination, but the downsizing. That sounds like people were fired. The shall we say change in role of the BioWare Montreal team. They're a support studio now.
Okay, yeah.
That they will not be making the next Mass Effect game. So we said, well, that means Edmonton will probably take it back, right? So do you guys think that it'll be the new IP team moves on to it after new IP ships, or Dragon Age team takes on Mass Effect after the next Dragon Age ships?
Casey's on the new IP, right?
Casey's works at Microsoft on HoloLens.
Yeah.
Catch up, Marty.
Yeah.
Long gone.
All right. I'm usually the one who knows stuff going on. I'm allowed to make a
Why
mistake.
am I the expert this week? Something's wrong. Just kidding.
I mean, I would imagine they would want it after whatever game ships first.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Dragon Age, the Dragon Age team, only
agree with
because if that is a Destiny-like game, that's what that team's on.
I agree completely.
Yeah.
I think Destin's right on this one.
It requires so much support and like adjustments to the real world economy and such. So we'll wait. We'll see.
In any case, that still means there's just no way there's a major Mass Effect game for at least the next 5 years.
I'm not surprised.
At least
by
the
that.
next 5
Like
years.
we spoke about it not that long ago, but I think a break is a good thing.
No, I don't think 5 years.
I don't know about
think
5
you have
years.
the. I think you already have the foundations of a game. Like what was
you? I mean,
if you fix them, you do.
at what point?
You have your character
but at that
models,
point,
you have
you're
assets.
into PlayStation 5 and Xbox Scorpio 2 kind of territory.
That's a confusing name.
what I did there?
Yeah. I don't know. No, I think we'll see a Mass Effect game this gen.
So you're talking Scorpio Pro gen.
This gen. That
is-
PS4, Xbox One gen. Yeah,
I think you're crazy.
that's fine.
I agree. I don't know why I'm agreeing with Destin so much. It feels weird.
How long was there
this whole
between 3
podcast
and
is weird
Andromeda?
today. Pardon?
How many years between 3 and Andromeda?
5.
Yeah, so waiting another 5 makes sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't because that wasn't the gap between 1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3 was announced as a trilogy with a planned release cadence.
My man Destin over here.
What is happening?
The studio did an amazing job on.
This game was
They
also
planned a
intended.
release
I
cadence.
guarantee this game was intended to be a trilogy, even though they didn't say that.
You're absolutely right, but it's not now.
Yeah, exactly. That's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when they came out and they said it's not planned as a trilogy or anything like that, but hold on to your saves. I mean, that's the most we ever got from BioWare.
It was totally planned as a trilogy. No, it's
Everyone loved it and loved those characters.
keep them.
I don't know how it ends, so maybe there's something at the ending where just like that isn't.
I think-
fine.
Everyone
one's actually
blows
fin-
up in different
No
colors.
one's actually finished the game yet.
different
which
colored
is crazy.
explosions. Yeah. That's the joke.
Yeah.
My face is too tired to finish the game.
Oh, Ryan.
I'm sorry. That's just low hand. That's not fair.
Come
That's
on.
not fair.
You're better than that.
I should be. No, I'm telling you, I'm standing by. I want the next Mass Effect to star Rex. Like, take me somewhere in the timeline.
Every time you say that, I want to cry.
Take me somewhere. I don't care where. I don't care how far. But that's a whole unexplored area of the universe we can go.
So great.
Rex should be.
I'd like the game to star post-racist Ashley.
Did we tell you about the part in the Mass Effect Let's Play where his Ashley had never
Discovered
been racist,
finally.
and then he
then
finally
it-
walked out to her and she was
so good.
super racist. It was
She got
brilliant.
woke to her racism.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be like dating someone for like 5 years, and then you're walking down the aisle getting ready to be married, and all of a sudden she's like, "Did I tell you what I think about?" I'm like, "Whoa, where did this come from?"
Whoa, I gotta
Like,
go.
Slept next to each other every night.
It was an unnecessary encounter as well.
Yeah,
I was so stoked.
bad.
Finally.
It's bad.
Okay. Oh boy, we're at a slope. We're moving at a glacial pace.
Yeah.
Speaking of racism,
What?
Yeah.
Far Cry 5.
Oh,
Good segue, Marty.
yikes.
Nailed it.
I'm back to
Where did you think I was going with that?
back to
Marty's doing the segue.
I thought you were going to say something racist. I thought you were like, speaking of racism, here's my opinion.
Marty's nailing the segues, and I'm agreeing with everything Destin is saying. It's like, whoa, everything's flipped around, man.
I should not sleep more often.
This week on the Twilight Zone.
This is the worst episode.
Far Cry
of the show.
5's been confirmed and teased, but not detailed. Possibly it will have by the time you hear this because it's happening on Friday morning.
That sweet image.
I will have a preview based on what I will just honestly tell you I didn't get to see much of the game.
Yeah.
Just a
Got like a presentation, hands-off presentation.
exactly. Thank you.
Far Cry do a lot of previews. Sorry, Ubisoft do a lot of previews like that where it's
Destiny
hands off. They don't let you see too much.
Yeah, but you had to go all the way to Montreal last year.
To not play a game. It was crazy.
That is a little crazy.
It was insane.
But yeah, so I'll have something because 3 of us, well, actually, no, like 6 of us saw
ton of us
the game,
went, yeah.
ended up seeing the presentation. So putting something together. What we can tell you is it's set in a fictional county in actual Montana,
Hope County.
Hope County. And the key art image suggests a lot of things of which I know all the answers to. So we're going to have to hold this discussion.
I wrote the news story this morning, so I was able to very tiptoe around it. It's this image of obviously Da Vinci's Last Supper, but it's a series of mean-looking men and women at a table, and there are a lot of guns. There is a dog with paint on him. There's alcohol. There's a man bounding gag with the word sinner written on his back. There's a church on fire in the background. There's biplanes and whatnot.
It's not a biplane.
What's a biplane?
Biplane has the two like double layer of wings.
You sure it's not a biplane?
It's just like an old style like World War
I gotta go change my story now. I wrote a biplane.
It's totally not. The Red Baron flies in a biplane.
You don't know the sexuality of that plane. How dare you?
Snoopy.
Planes are fluid, right?
What's your byline in your news story?
There's a barrel roll joke in here. Somewhere.
Christ. What's wrong with you?
So much.
Yeah, but we're gonna have a lot more on Friday. I thought it looked cool. I don't know. I can't say that. I thought it looked cool. I said
No, you definitely can't say that.
They can sue you, I guess.
I haven't seen anything, so I saw the image today and that house video.
Yeah, there was a bunch of like tone pieces that were sort of like Welcome to Hope County.
Like
That's
20
how much
second.
I know.
I think a game set in also a Far Cry set in what seems to be modern day America, which is a far departure from other Far Cry settings.
Say it's a
Modern day, you think?
It's a Far Cry from other Far Cry settings. Stop it. And then, yeah, I don't know. Like all the connotations of the key art suggest a like surprisingly topical story.
We did a visual comparison of the map in Far Cry 3 to Far Cry Primal, and it turned out
4 to Primal. It's the same map.
4 to Primal. Yeah, it was the same map. I wonder. No, probably not. Right for this one.
No, I mean,
not.
I don't think the Himalayans are real different than Montana.
So one of my
and they're not
complaints-
dealing with that much of a time difference from. Okay.
One of my complaints about the first Watch Dogs, I didn't play enough of the second to say, was that it presented a very serious political issue and then didn't make any commentary on it. And I worry that they will do the same thing with Far Cry 5. It looks like it's rooted in politics or is trying to make some kind of comment on modern politics, but I feel like because it's Ubisoft that they will play it very, very safe and therefore will present you with something but not actually go into it, and it'll just be like baseline level, nothing challenging.
You guys played a bunch of Watch Dogs 2. Did they do any of that there?
Watch Dogs 2 did better than Watch Dogs 1.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did they
But it was also
actually-
lighthearted in a way that I appreciated because Watch Dogs 1 was an awful wet blanket. And Aiden
I
Pierce
think that's kind of why it was more of a problem with Watch Dogs 1, because it took itself seriously but didn't actually present anything serious.
Yeah.
And that's
AC
the only thing I would want.
I mean, Far Cry has always done a good job, at the very least, of super compelling villains with Voss
Absolutely,
and with
yeah.
Pagan Min, especially in the last couple, and the
true, yeah.
Jackal even in Far Cry 2.
Yeah, and it's not even that I want it to I don't want it to align with my politics. I just want it to make me think about something.
Yes.
That's the thing that I think Watch Dogs 1 didn't do.
All right. We'll talk more Far Cry 5 next week after, because we'll see what I assume there'll be a teaser trailer of some sort.
I think they've said 6 a.m. on Friday there's going to be a trailer drop, and we're going to have a bunch of coverage around it.
Yeah. Curious to see that. I have not seen that. Speaking of Ubisoft, South Park, The Fractured But Whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it every time.
Guys.
It has a release date.
Finally, we'll see if it sticks.
Everything. I'm just thinking about buttholes now.
Yeah.
You guys keep saying all this stuff.
You can wipe October 17th onto your calendar.
You can wipe it on the calendar. You totally had wipe. I was like, wipe. You're like, great. And you're like, on the calendar, like, ooh. South Park's coming out on October 17th.
Wipe
guys.
the old date from your mind.
There you go. Do you guys think this is going to get delayed?
Nah, this is it. It's coming. It's
coming?
happening.
Yeah, I
No
think you're
way.
right.
Yeah. I'd be amazed if they delayed South Park.
That's cool because as of right now, we don't really have any queue for RPGs. I say without confidence.
Or necessarily any
or
games
tactical
like
games or
this.
whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
This
this is
is-
also funny and intended to be lighthearted, and I feel like we don't have anything else like
We can
that.
pretty much guarantee it's going to be the only comedy shipping in Q4 or any Q.
I don't know. We got all those leaks of Mario and the Rabbids.
The
Oh, good
Canada
point.
joke in the first South Park is my favorite video game joke.
Don't ruin it in case anybody hasn't played it, because I think the original game is a pre-order bonus. You just get the first one. So
If you haven't played it,
I'm
go back
just
and play.
saying that joke.
That's the thing that
It
I always
was
ask.
so
Like,
good.
did you get to Canada? And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, you should go to Canada.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the same way in like when we talk about Dishonored 2, you're like, oh, did you get to this level? And everyone when we
Yeah.
talk about Titanfall 2, we're like, oh, did you get to this? Like it's the point where like a great game becomes an amazing game.
Yeah, totally.
So, yay for South Park. I will be eagerly anticipating that.
I want to play it again now.
You might as well.
Fond memories.
Time. Finally, this week, Microsoft renewed their trademark on a little project called Scalebound.
What does it mean, Ryan?
Nothing.
Probably nothing.
Oh,
I bring this up for that exact reason.
playing a part there.
Yeah,
everybody.
don't. Big corporations do this all the time. The odds of them actually ever releasing a full-up game with the Scalebound name on it, pretty slim. It's just a CYA for their legal team in case they ever at some point in the future want to do something with it. It's like they already have it, so it's effectively cheaper to just hang on to a thing they own than to let someone else have it and ruin it and make them somehow look bad. Mm-hmm. I'm serious.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's totally the deal. So, no, do not take this as an indication that Scalebound's coming back, because it's not.
Kind of sad that we're never going to see that game. Anyway.
Yeah, I thought it looked really cool. Personally.
Yeah,
I was intrigued enough by it to give it a chance. And
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, would have loved to have given it a try in co-op. They showed off some co-op stuff, and would have been at least something different. Who knows if it would have been great.
Yeah,
Microsoft clearly didn't think so.
I wish I knew where it fell apart. Like, why did it not come out? But
Yeah, there's a book there for sure, somewhere, like what happened.
Yeah.
yeah.
The untold story, or at least a really long feature story.
Potentially
on a
related
website.
side note, Dragon's Dogma became backwards compatible on Xbox One. Dark Arisen. You should absolutely play it.
Yeah.
Wait, backwards compatible or the remaster? The games are being remastered for Xbox One and PS4.
Was it not both?
Oh, if this is
No, it is not backwards compatible.
Dragon's Dogma is Capcom, right?
Yeah, Dragon's
Of course
Dogma.
the remaster.
Dragon's Dogma is being
It's
remastered.
their whole business model.
You're gonna have to rebuy it.
Absolutely read that it was both, but you're right, it's Capcom.
Yep. That game's very good.
The game's very good is the point. And maybe it can, if you haven't already played it, fill a Scalebound sized hole in your heart, because there's a lot of
unlike
dragon
Scalebound,
stuff.
it is a video game.
It is a video game that exists, and it's fantastic. It's
You could like mount
sure one of my
mythological
favorite games.
creatures and fight them on various parts of their.
You guys finish? Did you
ginormous.
finish that game? Any chance? When you get to, when you think you finish it, it's very good.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, Alana, what can we spend our money on this week?
This week we can spend money on Rhyme on Friday for $30.
When's your review go up, Marty?
Oh, Dan's disappointed in me. I have to write it.
Okay, so
Probably by the end of the week.
cool. I want to read it.
I got an argument with Dan. We got in a little tussle over Slack.
We have.
And I told him I never want to review a game again, and I slammed my bedroom door.
Did you pack
I
it
hate
back
you.
and run away?
Yeah.
When's the embargo?
Tomorrow morning.
So you can't talk about it yet.
Luck.
No.
All right, moving on. Portal Knights is $20.
What a productive show this is.
Yeah, this is
we'll
terrible.
talk about
I'm
these
so
things later.
sorry.
So lame.
Shadow Warrior 2 Launch Edition involves SW1, Shadow Warrior 1, on sale for $35. Half price.
It's Star Wars one.
Swan. Skylar and Pluck's Adventure on Clover Island is on sale for $10.
Theoretically,
we
this
did
should
a-
be a Marty and Alana game.
We did a Let's Play of this. This is with the Australian character.
Yeah. Definitely Irish, but yeah. Man Death Robots Arena is $7. Chroma Squad is $15. And Marketplace, Xbox Game Pass launches on June 1st. A 14-day trial is now available for Xbox Live Gold members.
Here we
The
go.
list of
Netflix
Game
for
Pass
Xbox.
games is really good.
Real good.
It's like Halo 5, Sunset Overdrive, Braid, Spelunky, Mad Max.
Working on a
All the Gears games
Gears
up
games.
till 4.
Yeah. A bunch of really rad 360 and Xbox One games.
Yeah, it looks
It's
awesome.
$10 a month. Like,
Yeah.
geez.
They're getting
And you can
better.
just download. You can download them on your hard drive, so it's not like you don't have to worry about PS Now streaming issues.
Right.
Very good.
Don't worry about hard drive space.
Yeah.
Time to get an external
though. Ooh.
external drive.
May Games with Gold. We have the Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams Director's Cut from May 1st to 30th.
Gina Sisters.
Gina. Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris, May 16 to June 15 on Xbox One. Star Wars The
That's
Force
over.
Unleashed 2. You're right, it is.
stop reading
No,
these
it's
things.
not. June 15. Oh, you're right. That one is. Okay, so Lego Star Wars A Complete Saga from May 16 to May 31st on Xbox 360 and Xbox One.
I refuse to download on Force Unleashed 2. Just kidding.
Every week we have to hear about this.
It's
Your
kidding.
strange vendetta.
I wish it was. I wanted it to be good, and it kind of let me down. That's all.
dang.
Really wanted it to be
June
amazing.
Games with Gold, we have Speedrunners from June 1st to 30 on Xbox One. Watch Dogs from June 16 to July 15 on Xbox One. Assassin's Creed 3, my least favorite Assassin's Creed game, from June 1 to 15 on Xbox 360 and Xbox One. Dragon Age Origins from June 16 to 30 on Xbox 360 and Xbox One. And Phantom Dust DLC from June 1 to 30.
That is a hell of a June lineup.
Okay, but
that's
also,
a
the
really-
fact that
that's
we
a
have
bad
Watch
lineup,
Dogs,
right?
Assassin's Creed
Dragon Age
5.
Origins?
Look at those games, though. Do you think that means that we get like DLC announced for Watch Dogs 2? We think Assassin's Creed is coming at E3. Do we think that means there's likely going to be something with Dragon Age?
No.
Nah.
Does it mean anything?
I don't think so. No, generally,
I would think the things that time for June are relevant.
Generally, they
but also,
haven't.
I'm not making any sense today, so it's fine.
No, I think I know what you're going for, and
I think
wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know. I just don't think it's a good list because it's the worst Watch Dogs game and the worst Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
It's the worst Speedrunners game.
Good point.
Thanks.
All right. Well, let's move on. Do a little trivia before we
Oh,
mercifully end the show this week.
Wait, but after trivia, we have a secret surprise.
we do, yes.
Oh,
We do?
Okay.
It's called Purple Boy.
Oh, we better get through trivia fast.
Kevin from Illinois writes in and asks, "What is the name of the player character in the original BioShock?"
I think we all know.
Hopefully, this is a softball for everybody. We got Marty at 4 points, Alana at 5, Destin at 6 points. So pretty tight race.
How's Alana ahead of me? How did this happen?
Very
God.
smart.
She showed up.
Also, Phil.
Oh yeah, Phil.
Give me that 1 point.
Pretty smart too. Yeah.
So was the BioShock 1 protagonist named Adam, Ben, Frank, or Jack? Does
I picked my answer, but I actually don't know, and I think I'm going
Dustin
to lose.
goes first.
All right, go ahead.
D Jack.
Okay.
D-Jack.
Oh yes.
It's
Yeah,
definitely
you all got
Jack.
it right. So
Dustin looked it up before the.
Do we know what his surname
not.
is? I know you can see his like passport at the start of the game, or is
Yeah,
it
it's
technically Ryan?
It's Would You Kindly. Of the New Hampshire Would You Kindlys. They're like an old
his
American
wife
family.
talk
They
to
come
him
from
or
old money.
something?
They come
I'm
from-
just-
Intro. I don't
Go
remember.
get the purple thing.
I'm leaving now.
Go get the purple
okay.
thing.
So
My dramatic exit.
there's so I guess for you audio listeners, this is the most boring part of the show.
Well, no, this is the. You
can listen to the
This is a
noises.
thing we've been trying to do since Easter. You lift.
It's heavy.
You lift weights all the time.
You got to hold it up for the camera. So-
Oh no! Oh no! You've given me chocolate.
So Alana, for those of you on iTunes,
Sneak peek.
there is a badly foil wrapped, structurally unsound. No, I'm not. I have a dairy problem. I'm not eating this.
But at least you
milk
get
chocolate.
Legit has a dairy problem.
I'm not eating it.
My stomach doesn't like dairy.
You know what?
You have asthma. What if someone made fun of your? I make fun of your
Make
asthma.
fun of my asthma all the time.
But I have asthma.
So there's a purple foil. It
is.
looks like
wanna open
Saints
it.
Row had a Gears of War
probably do it
themed party.
Alana, explain what this is.
It's a giant
This is
chocolate
a
lancer.
chocolate lancer. It weighs
1 to 1.
30 pounds, I think.
It's 1-to-1
It is
scale.
1-to-1.
Not lift.
It looks super cool. And
Bro, do you even lift chocolate?
Xbox sent us this for Easter, and we kept forgetting to open it on the
Well,
show.
Alana was gone for a while, and then I was gone for a while, and then we should have done it last week because Ryan wasn't here, and
God.
we run bad shows when Ryan's not here, and this is a bad
Open
show.
it a little
thing.
bit. It's gonna make
this is
such a
even-
mess of
Everyone's
this.
even looks
go everywhere.
It looks disgusting, by the way. I mean, no offense to the fine craftsmanship that it took to make this, but it just
Here's a sneak
there is
peek.
nothing there's nothing appealing about
Oh,
this from
I
a
found a stick.
culinary perspective.
Oh, it has
They cheated.
sticks inside it. Okay,
Oh,
it's pretty well made, you guys.
Yeah, like there's okay. This
Well,
is actually really impressive. If
It's cast. It's like cast in chocolate.
is
Let's open it up.
is it edible?
Well,
The chocolate is pretty good.
Is it?
is this probably a bad time to mention that
Ryan, do your promo.
a guy died from eating gas station nacho cheese, and you're eating an old
Ryan, if I die by eating an old
Foil
Gears
wrapped
of War Lancer,
Gears of
I
War
am
chocolate
okay with
lancer.
that. If that's what kills me, it's fine.
How did she die? She ate it.
She died as she
Died
lived.
if she lived.
If you gotta go with a smile.
Batman 89.
This is really
you.
cool.
Cliff Bleszinski always said a chainsaw and a gun together. is
Peanut butter
like
and
a
chocolate.
Peanut butter and chocolate. Well,
So
here's half the
where's
equation.
where's the peanut butter?
Where's the peanut butter, Alana?
Yeah, Alana, where's the peanut butter?
that Skippy?
Okay, I'm legitimately impressed by this.
I mean,
It's awesome. Ow.
it is impressive from an artistic perspective.
Right now, Sean is in the booth being like, I went to film
melt it-
school.
Just melt it back on there.
Yeah.
How long do you think? So we could just put this in the lunchroom. How long do you think it's going to take for the boys and
6
girls
months.
of IGN to
Several
eat
days.
It?
6 months.
I think it'll be gone by the end of the day.
No, not by end of day.
I think I could leave an actual garbage can full of garbage and say free food, and I think it'd be gone by the end of the day.
Okay.
Eric's half is around.
Is it solid?
I mean, do you want me to
heavy.
break it?
It's heavy.
looks solid. Here's a chunk on it
it
if
is
you want to
solid.
see a large chunk.
Wow.
Throwing it.
All right.
Jeez.
Well, it's just there's
Man.
pieces coming off.
Thank you to our friends at Microsoft.
For this
Sorry we're late on
ridiculous,
this, but this
amazing
is
gift
wonderful.
That is
really
probably
cool.
very expensive.
Can you help me?
Marty, didn't you get in trouble for this? Over this because
I got in trouble.
Oh, Blaine never messaged him.
right? Oh, that's what it was.
Shout out to
He never got the
Shout out to
message.
Blaine.
shout out to Blaine for not messaging me.
Blaine from Xbox did
I'm gonna
not
try
ever
this
tell us
piece.
about this.
Yeah, Alana and I saw this at hacks when we were doing our live Unlocked segment on the Xbox stage, and we were very upset that we didn't get to do anything with
Why
it.
the hell would you not tell us that you
I
had
think I
this
messaged you. I'm
ridiculous
like,
thing
do
here?
you know about this giant chocolate gun?
Yeah.
They didn't tell us, yeah. So they sent us one, which
The
absolutely
verdict's
makes
still
up
out.
for it.
The verdict's still out whether they told us or not.
They have 90 of these.
Yeah.
And they don't know what to do with them. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right.
It's a little bitter.
Let's leave. Let's end this chocolate nightmare right now.
Delicious.
IGN Prime, if you want to support us a little more than the usual, just watching and listening, we'll give you an ad-free IGN experience in exchange for your $30 per year. Go to IGN.com/Prime to sign up for that. You can follow me on Twitter at DMC_Ryan. I don't think I'm doing anything of interest these days. Destin?
Hey, everybody. Do you like Destiny? Follow youtube.com/fireteamchat or just subscribe, which is what YouTube terminology is. You can also follow me on Twitter at Destin Legary. Thanks for stopping by on Lock today.
What am I doing? at the
I can see you mulling the flavor of this
You
chocolate.
still got an IGN First going on. Talk about that.
The last thing for IGN First is going up on Thursday or Friday. I think it's Friday.
Darksiders 3.
Yeah, which is for the AMA. We put out a call for questions and got the most popular questions. The most asked question was, is it coming to Switch? Why/why not? I'd be very interested to see if they do actually answer that question. Probably not.
Hope so.
And aside from that, yeah, doing a lot of like opinion-based videos. I did one about why I like Bethesda's review policy. I'll be doing one about Red Dead's delay. I'll be doing one about
you
what I want
like
from
it?
Assassin's Creed.
I didn't get
Dislike it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. That's the wrong word.
Yeah.
I'm very distracted by
I
this
was about
chocolate.
to say, I read and watched that. I copy edited it, and yeah.
No, I was not a fan, actually. So yeah, those are all going up on youtube.com/IGN at the moment.
Sounds good, Marty.
The Bethesda one's live, right?
Yeah.
You can follow me at McBiggity. One of my big feature projects this month is the Road to E3. Every day we have a video going up about a game we hope to see at E3.
Or a console.
Or a console. That one might be coming up soon by Mr. Ryan McCaffrey. All of us have done those videos. They'll be rolling out.
Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, you did Sea of Thieves.
I did Crackdown.
I did Call of Duty and Far Cry. Yeah, so we got a bunch of stuff. Crackdown went up. Red Dead just went live. We had Metal Gear Survive yesterday. All sorts of cool stuff. So check those out.
Groovy. All right. Then, again, a reminder, subscribe, like, follow, whatever.
All that good stuff.
All the places that I said at the beginning.
youtube.com/IGN.
Thank you. For Destin, Alana, and Marty, I'm Ryan McCaffrey. This was Unlocked 297. My goodness. We'll see you. I guess we might do maybe E3 predictions next
waving.
week.
Oh, yeah.
It's about time. So look for that coming up. We'll see you next week.
Bye, cuties.